Architecture is something that everyone experiences every day. It's a ubiquitous thing. It's something that we know and think about. For that reason, it's something that is very rich for exploration and for altering people's expectations about it. My background is primarily as a visual artist. Snarkitecture began because there were a number of projects that I was working on that played with architecture and often did so in ways that required a kind of architectural skill set.
The kind of pieces we're making at Snarkitecture run the gamut of architectural spaces and kind of physical, sculptural pieces that people are interacting with.
What we're interested in is looking at existing architecture, architectural scale environments, and reimagining them to create new and unexpected and memorable moments.
The building that we're in right now functions both as the Snarkitecture headquarters and my studio as well. A lot of the work that I'm producing here right now is part of a series that I've been making where I'm taking contemporary objects and remaking them in geological materials.
And there's generally a very collaborative sort of environment. Oftentimes before we even start drawing, we're just discussing.
I make art which one could say has no purpose, and a lot of the things that we make in Snarkitecture have a function or a specific purpose. The ideas are simple and strong at the same time. For me, it's a lot about reduction, so we're often taking things away rather than adding them. We often will make one statement, one gesture within a space and allow that to define it in its entirety.
In the case of the beach, this was a really big undertaking for both the National Building Museum and for Snarkitecture. This is going to be one of our bigger installations.
We were presented with the idea of creating some sort of environment, some sort of experience. The project is in Washington, D.C. It's in the summer. Thinking about just the summer and this idea about a place where people would like to go and hang out. And for us, that was this idea about the beach.
When people go to see the beach at National Building Museum, what they're going to experience is we've taken over the whole atrium, which is about the size of a football field. We've created this large abstracted beach with 5,000 square foot shoreline, which kind of empties out into an ocean of almost 1 million ball pit balls, which are 3 foot deep, and it fills up a 50 foot by 50 foot space. So really it's like wading into the ocean.
I was excited about building it. I was apprehensive about the volume of everything. When I heard about the specs of the balls coming in, the boxes are your moving boxes, basically 2 foot by 2 foot by 30 inches tall. And they said there's going to be 16 of these on a pallet, and you're getting 94 pallets. All right, now hold on now.
Material is something that we pay a lot of attention to, whether that be an architectural material or bringing a material that you wouldn't expect in an architectural context.
I think reduction is a big part of what we're doing, or abstraction. So taking something familiar, in the case of the beach, reducing, say, the color palette to like all white, transforms it to kind of an extraordinary experience.
The aesthetic is very much that of Snarkitecture's. They seem to want to just present the essence of the structure without any distraction.
For us, I think it was more about the concept of water and creating a sort of more pure environment. We're very much interested in an architecture that is inclusive of all different types of people. Everything that we create is done with the intention of it functioning for a 5-year-old and an 85-year-old. I'm looking forward to being in it myself, and I'm also looking forward to just grabbing my son and throwing him in it and seeing his experience with it.
Seeing it completed now, it's really great opening day to have so many people show up.
I think the first person in here was a little boy who just ran straight into the balls, like no stopping.
tried to make it feel like it was actually just this thing that kind of landed, like a spaceship, and didn't really have that much to do with it, although we allowed the two giant columns to sit in the center of that. It's like a little bit of the exterior museum kind of coming down into the installation.
There's certain emotions that are tied to being at a beach, and when you see this at first, it's very stark. And I think the scale takes you away, but once you're in it, it becomes very familiar.
I'm usually not deep into art or get it, but this, you know, you can't help but get because you're immersed in it.
Interactive part is awesome. Because a lot of times, you know, you can't touch the art and things like that. Right now, you can kind of be in the art.
It's funny, you know, when we make the installation is this, you know, muted abstraction, all white beach. And then what's great is once it starts getting filled, the people are what makes it colorful and alive. And so it's really great to see it packed, that's what becomes the architecture itself, and the, you know, the materials and the people using it really get highlighted on this kind of pristine beach background.
Just visually, I think the experience of being in it, but also watching other people in it, it's such a unique environment and not something that you see visually anywhere. And I think that's something that we spend a lot of time trying to create those kinds of scenarios that are outside of the everyday.
You know, there is another side to it that is like floating in the ocean, that you can just kind of wade and be alone even though you're in a huge installation with hundreds of people.